Are you serious? Radiation! Are you serious? Get some coffee. I got some breaking news. Breaking news. Pastor Dave Zacker sent me this email this morning with some breaking news information that he has been able to dig up and acquire. And I want to thank him for that very good work. He's even asked me to go ahead and report on this. He said, since you've already broke the story first, I feel like I should let you go ahead. I appreciate that. He didn't have to do that, though. He can go ahead and cover it as well. And I didn't break the story. There is others that I think originally did, or it was out there and somebody got it to me and I went out with it, and then everybody's got involved. So here's what it says. Engineers at the Davis-Besse nuclear reactor near Toledo found a pinhole coolant leak in a pipe weld Wednesday evening while doing a walk-down inspection of the plant. Now, this would have been on June the 6th. Engineers were resuming operations after more than a month-long reactor shutdown for refueling and maintenance. They were conducting the inspection while the reactor was in hot standby mode. The coolant system was running at normal operating temperatures and pressures. In a report earlier Thursday, that would have been the 7th of June, to the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, plant owner First Energy Corp estimated the leak of the radioactive coolant inside the reactor containment building at about 1/10 of a gallon per minute. My question is, 1/10 of a gallon per minute. Okay, let me ask you a question. Then how long does it take for 1 gallon to leak? Well, it takes 10 minutes. If 1/10 takes a minute, then 10/10 is a gallon. So every 10 minutes, a gallon of radioactive coolant leaked from this reactor. My next question is, ladies and gentlemen, how many hours did this thing leak? Because the inspection was on Wednesday night. The report came Thursday morning. I don't know. I mean, can I just say, what? Is it okay for me to say that? Well, Pastor, you're overreacting. It's just a little pinhole, and they got it under control. Really? Then explain to me this. Why is the radiation in Indiana 7,139 parts per minute? When normal radiation everywhere else in the country, and you can go to Dutch Sense's website. He breaks it down. He shows you every graph that I was looking at yesterday morning when I broke the story. Every radiation meter in America, the highest I saw was 43 or 48. Not 7,139. I went through the country. You can watch my first video on this. And I tell you how much each one was. The normal amount, parts per minute of radiation at all times around where you're at right now is somewhere between 5 and 60 parts per minute of radioactivity around you. And that's because of the energy we produce in our normal daily activity. It's somewhere between 5 and 60. Okay? Not 7,000! And it just so happened to spike the same night as this pinhole? And you don't think, in the same area, and you don't think we have a problem? What? We have a problem? Are you serious? Are you serious? Are you serious? Are you serious? Seriously serious. And here's the thing about that. I live in northern Indiana. Pastor Dave lives in southern Michigan. Pastor Dave has sons that live over closer to this plant. How many people live in here? Have you seen this on CNN? Has this been on MSNBC? Where is Wolf Blitzer? This should be your situation room. South Bend, Indiana ought to be where you're sitting, holding up shop. There ought to be satellite cameras everywhere. We may have a major radiation leak and nobody's even reporting it. I don't know. I'll finish the article. I'm trying to remain calm here, okay? The plant owner is First Energy Corp. Estimated the leak of radioactive coolant inside the reactor containment building at about 1/10 of a gallon per minute. The report noted that the coolant was spraying from a pinhole in the socket weld of a 3/4-inch pipe at a 90-degree elbow between the reactor coolant pump and the safety valve. Reactor operators immediately began shutting down the reactor as engineers began repairing preparations. Spokeswoman Jennifer Young today said the leak coolant was cleaned up and no radioactivity escaped into the atmosphere. Really? I have some oceanfront property in Arizona. From your front porch you can see the sea. If you believe what Jennifer Young said, come to Arizona. And if you like that, I'll throw the Golden Gate in free. Come on! We're not buying it, Jennifer! We got radioactivity in the atmosphere! 7,139 parts per minute right here in the northern Indiana region of this plant. I don't know! But somebody help me understand! I shouldn't get upset, right? I shouldn't panic. She says there was no injuries. First Energy shut down the 9,008 megawatt reactor back on May the 6th for normal refueling, inspections, and maintenance. More than 1,000 contractors worked with Davis-Besse employees to replace 68 of the 177 fuel rods. Contractors also were involved with preventative maintenance and of major components, including pumps, valves, and the emergency diesel generators. Others also worked on the power plant's cooling tower to improve the efficiency. Now listen, 1,000 people worked on maintenance, preventive maintenance. They also were involved in removing of 68 spent nuclear rods and replacing them. 68 of the 177. This was a major operation. That's a third of the entire energy source. We have a pinhole leak, putting a gallon of radioactive coolant, spilling it per every 10 minutes, a gallon. We don't know how many. They don't tell you how long it leaked. We're told it never got in the atmosphere. It all got cleaned up. But our radioactive meters are off the charts. Something's going on here. And how does this relate to the end of the world? Well, it has everything to do with it. If the Madrid fault line was to go today, and the Mississippi River was to break 8.8, let's say, 9.2, and the Mississippi rode backwards, how many nuclear power plants would be affected? How much radiation would spill into the atmosphere? If another earthquake hits Japan and those 6 melting down reactors finish breaking the firewalls that are holding the coolant walls, do you realize that we are living in an atomic age, an apocalyptic age? And it's not because of the Mayan calendar. It's not even because of man and his nuclear technology. It's the fact that we're coming to the end and all things are pointing to the return of Christ. And I don't know the day. I don't know the hour. I only know this. You need to be right with God. I need to be right with God. We've got to get things right with the Lord. In the meantime, we are going to dig and find and try to warn people of the things that are coming around you. And I start by asking you, are you saved? Because it doesn't matter about the radioactivity if you're not saved. Are you saved? Please give your life to Jesus Christ. I'll pray with you. I'll help you. You can send me a personal message right here on YouTube. Just title it, I want to be saved. I want to be saved. I want to be saved. In Jesus' name.